Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about Uber Eats launches a TikTok-like video feed to boost discovery. So vertical format videos are actually on the rise in a lot of areas. And that's not just in social media with YouTube, with TikTok, with Vine when it was around, Snapchat and otherwise. But now it's also with Uber Eats. And I don't know where they're going with this, but I'm very interested to see if Uber Eats is going to be the new TikTok, especially with this new ban that is coming TikTok's way. So with that said, we are talking about everything being said in this article, how it actually is for Uber Eats, potential customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Uber Eats is launching a short form video feed to boost discovery and help restaurants showcase their dishes. Uber Eats Senior Director of Product, Awanish Verma, told TechCrunch exclusively in an interview that the new feed is being tested in New York, San Francisco, and Toronto. The company plans to launch the feed worldwide in the future. Imagine a TikTok for food delivery. Can we talk about the monetization process of that? Like, how do you monetize that, really? I know that a lot of restaurants can boost their discovery like that, but how do they plan to do that outside of New York, San Francisco, and Toronto? A lot of restaurants don't have the bandwidth for more staff, let alone somebody to make these videos for them. Maybe that's an opportunity in the future for some gig workers who are looking to diversify their gig portfolio, but who knows? With this launch, Uber Eats now joins numerous other popular apps that have launched their own short-form video feeds following TikTok's rise in popularity, including Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, and Netflix, to name a few. TechCrunch also recently learned that LinkedIn has started experimenting with its own TikTok-like feed. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, vertical format videos are a great way to not only boost your reach overall, but are ways to get discovered in ways you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Like, how long have you been on Netflix trying to figure out what to watch and you're trying to base it off a thumbnail? You really can't. Now, again, the shift from vertical format to a long form video is not that great. I've actually tried that myself, but it's there. Doing it this way is like flipping through the channels on cable and stumbling upon a movie you like by accident. This allows for that in a way that wouldn't be able to be found otherwise. LinkedIn is a good way to get it because you can actually be discovered while building out your brand that way. Not to mention you could stumble into a job you wouldn't normally be a part of. I feel like that's the real value of vertical format video, is getting reach you wouldn't be able to get without SEO. Because SEO is very targeted for people looking for you specifically. What if you didn't even know it was available and suddenly you stumble into it and, oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I should implement that in my own life, in my business, in this, in that, or whatever. And it's not just some Instagram photo you look at, glance at for a second, you're like, ugh, move on. It's a video that captures your attention. But Uber Eats, I don't know if that's gonna work, and I'll talk about that later. The new Uber Eats short-form videos are visible in carousels placed across the app, including the home screen. Once you click on a video preview, you will enter into a vertical feed of short form content that you can swipe through. You will only see content from the restaurants that are close enough to deliver to you. Yeah, but here's the thing. How many of these restaurants are actually going to have the means to actually make that content and be able to pay a content creator when they can't even pay their own staff? Or is that part of what they're going to make their staff do now? Are waiters suddenly going to have to put in extra effort to make video content for customers that they're not even getting tipped by because we're the ones getting tips? Because that, in my opinion, would be straight exploitation. You better have a way to pay that person to make those videos. I'm trying to figure out how you're going to be able to do this. Now, there's also those content creators that literally just walk up to a place and be like, hey, can I make a free commercial for you? And that's how they get content out there. Because that's what that content creator does. They're videographers showing off their skills. And they make good money that way, don't get me wrong, but they're they're trying to promote their own business, not your business. Although your business does get boosted that way too. Either way, I think it's a decent idea. I just don't know about execution. Burma says the feed is designed to replicate the experience of being in a restaurant in person and seeing people preparing the food and being inspired to try something new. As you may swipe through the feed, you may come across a video of an ice cream shop preparing a Nutella milkshake, or a video of an Indian restaurant packing rice separately from curry so it doesn't get soggy by the time it gets delivered to your house. There is a positive and a negative that is going to come from this. A positive being that you're going to inspire somebody to try something new where they wouldn't try that new thing otherwise. Being, let's say, in the photo they described, Hero, which looks like some sort of salmon dish, or maybe it's a certain milkshake and you're trying to curb their cravings with that item specifically. And maybe they're just hungry, but they don't know what they want, but that's how they end up there. But then they're going to order the item, they're going to get the item, and it's going to come in a styrofoam container of some sort, and it's not going to look anything near the item that they use to, you know, make the food. Because let's say you're making a milkshake, that's not going to be prepared in the glasses or the whatever that they're putting it in. It's going to be made in a styrofoam cup or a plastic cup so that way it can get to you at your home or your office. I think vertical format is a phenomenal way to get reach, but I think it's something you're going to build up in customers' minds only to be disappointed later on. That also said, there is a couple of other benefits that haven't been mentioned yet. Number one, ghost kitchens are going to have a hard time proving that they're not just Denny's or not just the Chili's using another brand, because now these foods are going to have to be shown being prepared via the vertical format videos. Second, how long do these videos last? Like, you gotta think that some other restaurants are going to keep making videos and some other restaurants are going to keep posting, so they're going to have more reach to other customers like that. This may actually be a better opportunity than I'm giving it credit for, but I feel like I would need to see it actually being implemented myself in order to actually understand it. The early data shows people are much more confident in trying new things and trying things that they otherwise wouldn't have, Verma said. Even little things like being able to see the texture and the details, what the portion size looks like, or what's in a dish has been really inspiring for our users. Okay, that's a good point. Like, this is kind of off topic, but there are things that I would not have tried with my diet that I wouldn't have been trying if I didn't stumble into food talk or stumble into like diet talk, I guess. Because I've been trying to lose weight and I've been trying to find ways where I can eat the things I like while not gaining weight or make an even swap. There are a lot of opportunities there. UberEats notes that the videos aren't ads, as the company isn't charging merchants for the content placement. Oh, that is perfect. You know how many restaurants actually have a huge problem with that? Like, they are very much against paying to get boosted up in Uber Eats or paying to get boosted up on all of these other apps. Because in reality, what ends up happening is that they end up paying to get them boosted up in the charts of whatever category that they're in. Kind of like how you open up YouTube or open up Google, you type in what you're searching for, they're like the 10th hyperlink down and you're only clicking on the first one. There are people that will pay to get boosted that way. That's not happening here. They are actually developing a vertical format TikTok feed so that way people who don't want to pay for those things are getting discovered easier. But then there's also going to be the point of there going to be sponsored content where people can pay for that later on, and then customers get shown that video before others. There's going to be a whole mess of things. But either way, it allows an opportunity to be there where there wouldn't be otherwise. Many restaurants run social media accounts on apps like Instagram and TikTok to reach new customers and showcase their food for using short-form videos. By allowing merchants to share short-form videos directly in the Uber Eats app, the company is helping merchants reach customers directly as they decide what to order. As for consumers, many people already use social media to discover new places and dishes to try. AI. So Uber Eats likely hopes that its new feed will encourage users to try to find inspiration directly within its own app. Imagine if Uber suddenly starts their own social media. Like suddenly they're gonna have like a social media platform that even challenges TikTok and Instagram, to where it shows not only restaurants in your local area, but events that are gonna be taking place. So you can Uber rideshare to them and things like that. Like it's gonna suddenly be the next Ticketmaster too. Some users might not see the launch as a welcome addition to the app, as they may feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of different short-form video feeds in popular apps. While it may make sense to have short-form video feeds in entertainment and social media apps, the introduction of one in a food delivery app may not be a favorable choice for some. Well, here's the thing. If I'm going into a food delivery app, it's because I'm hungry. It's not because I'm bored and want to start doom scrolling. So the idea of going into the app to get fed is already there. But what if I don't know what I want? What if I'm one of those people that are like, I'm hungry, but I don't know if I really want this like I normally have. Do I want this instead? I don't know. I haven't thought about it. This may actually be a solution to a problem that they didn't even know they had. Verma also shared that in order to further support merchants, the company has revamped its Uber Eats Manager software and added personalized growth recommendations. The software is now capable of encouraging restaurants to grow their business by doing things like running a promotion on a certain dish or adding photos to menu listings. Oh, that's actually a cool idea if there's like a chef special that they wouldn't normally put on Uber Eats, but because this chef special is for today only, they can actually add that to the feed. That's a possibility. But then again, there are also times where people are like, there are also times where people run those kind of promotions and then they don't see that menu item drop off for like a week, but it was today only thing. The person running the social media aspect of Uber Eats or the Uber Eats manager would have to be tech savvy enough to be able to manage it. And in a lot of cases, restaurants just don't. In addition, the company is going to launch an entirely new app for restaurant managers this summer that is designed to make it easier for restaurants to be more proactive on the go. For instance, the app could alert a restaurant manager that their store is having issues or that they may want to boost sales with new ads. Uber Eats announced on Monday that it now has more than 1 million merchants around the world on its platform across 11,000 cities and 6 continents. Well, I'll tell you what, out of those 1 million merchants, I'm sure that this will be very beneficial to them if they end up adding that to their platform. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. First of all, I'd like to point out the overall irony of how TikTok was getting into food delivery, and now food delivery is getting into TikTok. That is so funny to me. This seems like a great opportunity for merchants to reduce their costs that they would normally incur from Uber, because they would normally charge a certain fee for you, the merchant, to push your store up in the feed. But now you have a free way to kind of get your product in front of people. So that's a positive. And I think it's a cool aspect that Uber is expanding in this way, because it opens a lot of doors if this blows up. Now, that also said, do I imagine Uber being the next social media app? Not really. But things have exploded and changed over time for a lot of different reasons, so it wouldn't be too surprising. Either way, at first when I saw this, I thought that this was going to be an opportunity for gig workers or even just people who are social media managers in general to put some sort of advertisement in front of merchants in order to serve them in order to make an income that way. But it seems like it's less like an income opportunity for other people and more so a cost reduction for merchants. So I'm sure there's going to be somebody somewhere saying that there's some sort of opportunity there. I just don't see it yet. Either way, let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think about this. And who knows, maybe Uber will be the new TikTok after it gets banned, right? Even though it's completely against free speech. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.